Yeah, what up, party people? Oh, that started 10 seconds ago. Cool. All right. Good afternoon. Here is the best boy ever. Isn't it weird and interesting how every dog is the best boy ever? These later wolves are the best of their species every time. I don't know. I know some people that don't talk about their parents that way, that they're the best human ever. We're a ways off from these puppies. Speaking of a ways off today, the markets, man, we will see where the purpose of the pain was today. All right, today was, you can see here, biotech and healthcare and retail fall while gold hits new all-time highs. The commodity rush, gold rush, continues. Not surprising to us. We've been seeing this. We've been talking about the commodities getting a lot of love recently. Past year versus tech underappreciated. Now finding investor dollars. We'll look at all the moves. Let's take a look at some of these charts. I just compiled all this just here now in case you wanted to see here. You see that? Not yet. Hang on. Got to see me again, my mug. All right, dashboard. Boom. All right, so today the S&P closed down about 70 bips. Volatility did rise, however. Volatility depends on what you look at. VXX up 2.5%. We'll take a look at that chart later. Dollar VIX up 6.9%. That was high and elevated all day. We did here, this is an intraday chart. We bottomed at 10 a.m. And then if you can see here, the yellow line is VWAP, volume weighted average price. We were able to hold that a little bit after the euro closed, around 12 o'clock. And we started a little bit of a small recovery ascendance there. All right, so let's see what was the dealio today. Whoops. All right. All right, so let's go back. Let me pull up that document on the other side. So yeah, definitely a down day for the market. So we're going to do this by standard deviation move. The biggest gainer today, silver. This commodity rush has not stopped. So let's take a look-see. It's up a robust 4.4% for silver. I mean, yeah, this is a little bit. Let me squash this screen a little bit. Make this a 1 year. All right. So again, we're thinking about thematically and other trades to put on in the next day or so. These are usually, there's nothing to do here, and I don't want to go counter trend here on new highs. We were talking about this the other day, or a chart that looked just like this in the commodity space. Yeah, looks great. The high is technically here. It's actually here last May 4th. So we're coming up on, 11 months here. That's at 23.94, 8 cents away today. Let me check if it took it out today. No, 5 cents away. So pretty wild. It probably takes it out, but I'm not going to chase it here. And not my style, but it is ripping. Okay. You're going to see a lot of charts. I try to keep these signals different as possible. But you'll see a lot of commodities driving the upsides today. There wasn't much to find. It was all commodity based. XLE, new 52-week high. You didn't see a lot of that today. There you go. We looked at this a couple days ago as well. You took this out, based here, and then finally broke out March 28th above 93.5, and then woof, 96. It's an ETF, but you could still see it magnetized maybe to this has been overbought wildly since March 12th. So you're going on a couple, 2 weeks here being overbought. Let me see a setup. This thing was up 1.4% today. Biggest gainer after silver. Yeah, this thing definitely looks improved, but I don't want to enter here unless it's around 91.5. I try to dance around here, these lines basically, which is the middle Bollinger Band, 21 exponential moving average. Yeah, I'm not going to play here at 96. Other mover today, gold, new all-time highs. Got to take a look at that. All-time highs usually means up, and away. There's no resistance. The stock feels light. Oof. It can do this for a day or two or 5, but this will come back down to earth. It's definitely having, animal spirits, and people buy this up since March 1st. There's been this commodity boom. Yeah, I would love an entry around 200, 201, like I said, against here, and then get long. But yeah, I'm not going to play there. But yeah, new all-time highs for gold. So all those people buying it, I guess, at Costco, the bars and stuff, nice job. They've never been worth more than right now. PDBC is the commodity basket. This thing is doing well here. This is resistance. There's a 200 bar moving average. It's going to be a little bit heavy here, but you have a lot of constituents making highs and oil sustaining itself. So this basket today up 1%. I'm guessing when I look at the other screen, I have other targets and such, Fibonacci numbers. It just makes it a little bit cleaner. But yeah, 1370. I would love to buy call spread on here, but that's 45 cents away or so. 3-4% up 1% today. I will keep my eye on the commodity space. I don't think it's done, but I'm not going to play up here. And then lastly, VXX, the fifth biggest gainer, that had a, what do we have here? 2.5% gain. This is a tough chart to see because it's just been nothing all the time. But if you look at, I'm looking at another chart with an upper Bollinger Band against its 21 exponential moving average, this should probably top out around 1485. So this is up 2.5% today or so. 1485 is around here I have for a target. That's $1.40. You get another 10% or another, 4 days like this in terms of increases. Maybe it's been such a big loser, you can consider buying a long VXX call spread, buying something like the May 2nd, 13.5, 14. You have to check the strikes, but like a 14.5 or 15 call spread. But I'm buying VXX has usually been a losing trade when we're less than 2% away from all-time highs. So you're probably going to get steamrolled to pick up a penny. Okay, so those were the up moves. Now the vast majority of stocks today were down. There was news in the healthcare space which affected this whole thing. We're not going to get into that. I use the technicals to make sense of the fundamentals and the macro, but there were negative news on Humana and the healthcare space. IBB, I'm long the XBI, which is a similar ETF. It's for biotech, so I've been taking a little bit of a hurting on this. I do think I'm looking at the IBB here. This looks like I like to see, there is support below here. I don't expect a massive drop, but this is the most oversold the biotech has been since essentially Halloween week. So not great. It did find its legs there and then rally from there. Then again, the market did too. So you had tailwinds in the macro sense. I have a position here, so I don't really want to talk my book, but I do think this has pretty great support at 133. I'm not thinking the bottom falls out. If you didn't have a position, it'd be better if you had a better market backdrop, because I do think we're in a digestion phase for the market for the next 2 weeks or so. I just didn't see us ripping, and voila, we didn't rip to 530 in SPY. My target for this is still around 142 for IBB, so it's a lot of upside, $9 or $8 or so here. But this will probably take hold closer to early May. It's going to take a little bit more time. All right, we got a few mo. So let's look at the broader sector, healthcare. So IBB down 2.1. You go to healthcare down 1.6. Let's see here. Healthcare, everyone thought was going to be the biggest winner by far this year. It's done well, not gangbusters like people think compared to financials, tech, etc. Yeah, this is not a bad entry point. I don't want to, like I said, buy the market here. I don't want to throw more dollars. I'm long enough as it is. 143 looks like a great entry point in healthcare. I'm not going to lie. I don't like when things top out more than a month ago. This is based for quite a while, but you still have rising moving averages here, rising 200-day. Not bad. I'll take a look at this tomorrow. One of the trades I would put on, if it wasn't long enough, I would put on something like, my target for this is around 149. So I don't think it's going to clip 150, but I do think you get above these highs from February 23rd. I think that happens. It's going to take a couple of weeks. So I would do something like a mid-May, maybe the May monthly 145, 150 call spread, see how much it costs. That's not a bad one. I'm already long though, so I'm not going to play that. XRT, excuse me, XRT, retail, I'm long Abercrombie and Fitch, full disclosure. It's been a great position. So you get paid in volatility in a way for holding this like Bitcoin, which we'll talk about. But this thing has, it's working off. I mean, it just hit new 52-week high yesterday. So this is definitely out of a place of strength. I would like to give this a little bit more time. I think you actually have a chance, if there's bleeding, of getting this around 74, the lower Bollinger Band, because it just started descending. It's been super strong. Obviously, I think this one needs a little bit of time. This had a very nice run over the past 2 to 4 weeks. So I want to give this a little bit of time. But like I said, I'm already a long constituent in this ETF. CAF, this is similar to the IWM, small caps. This got beat down today. Actually, this is going to close up positive. Let's go to the IWM. IWM got beat down. IWM was down 1.8%. Yikes. Pretty big move for an index. This one, as you can see here, though, new 52-week high just last week. It's giving back, 2 and 3 candles, essentially. If we get one more all the way into the lower band, we have some vol compression here. This is really tight. Lower to top is $10. Whereas you can see here, it was 177 to 209, much greater variance. So still in an uptrend here for IWM. I don't want to buy this, however, until a couple more weeks. I would give a lot of this, pick your spots, be a little bit picky in the market. I think there's a chance you could possibly even get this over below 200, maybe. So not going to throw money at this, the small caps. And then airlines. Airlines have been attractive. Look at the chart here. This just put in a new local high, as it were, like a 6-month high, March 28th. Let me look at the larger chart. Sort of looking for an entry in this. Not my favorite spot, but I do know it's been a performer, so I don't want to be biased. Again, this goes with the theme. Wait a couple weeks. Commodities is the only game in town for right now. We'll know when it turns. But yeah, I would give this a couple weeks. If you get in at 19.25 around here, that'd be great. For a high projection of around 21, but I don't want to play that right now. All right, so top gainers of the past week. If you were long gold miners, congratulations. It is the best gainer of the entire past week. Long 9% over the past 5 days. So that's almost 2% a day. Kind of rich. I doubt this is going to give me a signal that I like. It's not. This looked a lot better around here for an entry, around 30. If it were to give back some in a significant move, maybe get long here, but I'm not going to play. Again, you're going to see a lot of commodities here. This is the belle of the ball right now. Uranium, full disclosure, taking a hurting on this one. I am sure this one held on right where I had to. Could talk about the trade a little bit. I bought a April put spread. One of the things, top tier February 1st, the greatest rally it could muster was right here to 29.40, barely getting above 50 in the RSI. I took that as a sign of weakness, started to get short, and it has continued to rally. I do think it's sort of done. It's giving me kind of an overbought sell signal here above the Bollinger Band. It doesn't really close there more than 2 days in a row. Here had stronger momentum, if you could see these pieces. So I think it's enjoying the tailwind of the commodity boom. So I don't think it's going to be strong lasting. I do think it's going to start to descend lower towards 28 and find some balance. So I'll let you know how I do on the options position. I'm holding that till expiration. And then what else? We got SLV. I mean, I think you're getting the message here. SLV, really 22.5 would have been a great entry. So unfortunately, 2 days ago would have been great. If you were looking at commodities that want to get long one, this would have been a good one to pick, this or a GLD, which we'll look at as well. But I'm not going to chase here. If it were to have it, like I said, a significant give back, and you want to get long in a commodity game, you could do it, but I'm not going to do it here. USO oil, again, commodities. That's what's going on right now. We're not talking Nvidia and AMD, Micron. It's commodities. That's what's been ripping. These are the top gains of the week. So USO, one of the top performers of the year. USO is up 4% in the top 5 days. All right, so it goes gold miners, uranium, silver, oil here we'll look at. Looks good. I'm glad I did not buy that put spread a couple weeks ago. This, you got to wait for it, I think, to come down a bit. I think this will probably lead a little bit of the mean reversion into commodities move. I think around 76 if you want to get long, and then you go in from there with around a target to where it is here. So I would give this some time, though. If you want to chase breakouts, you can do it. I don't buy things above the upper Bollinger Band here, but it does look like it is going towards new highs. Voila, more commodity play. What else? And then FXI, the fifth greatest gainer in the market this week, up almost 4%. This is China. Talk about a reversal. You had a bearish divergence here, new price low. You didn't get in the RSI. Should have clipped at least under 30 to get oversold. Never happened. Oof, a divergence that propels it from 21 to 24, more than 10% in a country large cap ETF. So let's look at it now. Any action? I was short a while back, the KWEB ETF, but not anymore. Crazy. This is definitely stabilizing. I would like, if you have the appetite for risk, if you were to get an entry, I mean, I'm not really being a hero here. If you can get in at 23, so if this were to slip, $1.60, pretty good move lower. Maybe it slips with the rest of the market. Maybe bad economic news out of China. I'm not sure. If you get this around 23, I think it might be worth looking at just for a little bit of allocation in the portfolio. I don't know if China is still entirely uninvestable. There's probably better areas to get your money, but this has caught attention of investors since the end of January. There's, everyone ran out maybe of putting money into tech, and now they're going to commodities and China, and there's definitely a broadening. And news are not so terrible in China. Things are getting a little bit better. Okay, so the top 5 losers the past 5 days. This is crazy. So Bito, we literally had yesterday as the best trade in the market. Right now, the best trade is short Bitcoin. Of course, you know why? I bought it yesterday. No, we're kidding. But that's how you get paid in Bitcoin, honestly. It's funny. I was texting friends as Bitcoin was trading 70K. Said, watch it move to 35K now overnight. Woof. Quickly, it got to 64 and a half today in the low, I think. So anyway, here's the Bitcoin chart. Superstar all year, except for this back in August here, this down move. Yeah, if you don't have a position, you've been looking for a longer term position to enter Bitcoin. I think this is a fine one. You might get, usually when the levy breaks, it goes a little harder. This could get to 26, so you could save maybe another 10%, which would basically mean Bitcoin gets to 62-ish K. You really need to see things go south. I think it can happen, though, before it resolves upward. This doesn't change the target. I still think it gets to 100K by Labor Day. But yeah, I mean, you could have a little bit more pain here. But yeah. What else? So that's the best short of the past week. It's down 11% or a little bit more than 2% a day. You can see it down today 5.5%. Okay, other ones, there's going to be correlated to that. So ARK, the second best short in the market over the past week, down 5%, or an average of 1% a day, down 3% today alone. Let's see. This one obviously owns a lot of Tesla and I think MicroStrategy and things like that. I'm not, don't love it from one way or the other. I mean, the 200-day is just kind of going nowhere. It's slowly rising. But I think you might get a chance to get this at 46 if you want a high beta kind of a long. But I think there's better than this. And I'm not going to short it here because I don't see much downside. I am looking for shorts, but it's very hard to come by. XBI, this is the biotech I am in. I'm in these calls. This is the third biggest loser this week in the market. Womp womp, down 2%. So it's not exactly dying on the operating table, but you could see this move here. So this peaked February 28th at 103.5. It's trading 191 now, essentially. It's at the lower Bollinger Band. There is good support at the 200-day moving average here, 82. But that's still exactly 9% away from here. I think it's going to stabilize. I think it's going to base around this 90 level for a little bit before it starts to move towards 95. That's going to take some time. And I'm not shorting here. I see limited downside. And two more. ITB, the fourth biggest loser in the market, home construction, obviously with the rates, the 10-year getting to about 435. This story peaked, I mean, quite literally a couple of days ago at 116, now trading 111. I round for simplicity's sake. So I was looking at, we'll look at this chart first because that's the one that had the significant move. I was looking for XHB, and if it slips about another percent, I'm going to get into an entry. This chart's terrific. Superstar, never oversold. I like XHB a little bit different. They're slightly different, but this one kind of is the same. Give us one a couple of weeks just because I don't think it is the smartest thing to throw money at the market right here. And I think in a few weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, if you can get in around 105, you do it. This is going to continue. There's a supply and demand imbalance in real estate. I like XHB a little bit better, but this one looks great too. And last one, IGV. This one's been struggling. This is the software we were looking at the other day, Oracle and things like this. This is the 5th biggest loser in the market. Down 2% in the past week. So not, exactly horrendous, but it is down to below its 21 exponential moving average. If you can get this is starting to stabilize. If you get this around 82, just a little bit lower, I think that's a good entry point with a target of around 89. I don't think the best is in the rear view. This is still nice having a nice arc, the 200-day moving average. I think there's a couple warning signs, but I don't think the dance is over here. All right, so best 3 absolute trades of the week: short Bitcoin, long gold miners, long uranium. Those are the 3 best trades of the week. Yeah, I am on the wrong side of the Bitcoin one for right now, but I have a month to go on those options. Long gold miners and long uranium, they both just look extended. It can last a little bit longer. As John Maynard Keynes said, the market can stay irrational longer than you can say solvent. And with that, signing off, y'all.